Hello everyone, Luis Concepcion here from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 25. As always, here's our disclosures. This content is for educational purposes only, not providing any investment advice, and past performance does not include future results. Here's our agenda for the week. Go ahead and provide you the news, provide a market overview of the indices, and we have 60 companies reporting, so 20 more than last week. So pretty much another slow week unless you're monitoring the indices. So here's our results. Provided 10 zones. We went 1 and 1. No entry was 6. 2 in progress. ACN. The first ACN level did not work. However, the second one is in progress if you held off for the second level. And Kroger is also in progress as well. Here's our outlook for this week. Pretty much nothing on Monday, and then we start picking up Tuesday afternoon. The big catalyst this week is probably going to be Micron and see how that affects the chips this week. So Thursday may be interesting depending on how Micron reports, as it will affect AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, and all those other uh, chips. Went ahead and updated we had Lazy Boy that worked, and there's a typo here. Apologize. That should be ACN that didn't work, and that's a wrap for last week. Moving into our news, starting with Monday, the Canadian dollar has some reports. So for those of you trading futures and forex, pay attention to the Canadian dollar prior to the market. There is no U.S. news on Monday or Tuesday. Let's see if flash PMI turns red this week, given that the new Fed chair has changed the way he's going to conduct business. So we will see if this still impacts the markets. Afternoon on Tuesday, the Australian dollar has its CPI report. So for those of you, again, trading the Australian dollar, be mindful of that on Tuesday. No news on Wednesday for the US, Australian dollar being affected again with the unemployment change. Then on Thursday is the first time we're going to have some impact to the US markets. GDP will be released at 5:30 in the morning, and no news on Friday. The only thing I can say is that Monday may be interesting with everything that's been being released within POTUS, with what's happening overseas, the MOU being signed and not signed, conflict, no conflict. So any tweet by POTUS on Monday morning may or may not affect us. But when it comes to news that we can actually see, there is nothing impacting us till Thursday. So it might be a quiet week and coincides with Micron releasing earning Wednesday night. So there's that. Moving into the charts and starting with the SPX, as you can see, our level held. It gave you two opportunities to enter to go short or do verticals. Our group went ahead and did verticals, and I was out of that trade already. So just be mindful this supply zone is still intact, 75.63.69 to 76.24.85. We hit that, came back and filled the gap. So not sure if we're going to stay steady here during the week or we're going to head back to our demand zone that worked. 72.38.19 to 71.70. If not sure if this is going to hold again, either side. So be cautious utilizing these levels again, but we are still within the confines of our supply and demand zone. Moving on to the NASDAQ or the NDX, same thing here. NASDAQ looking a little bit stronger than, well, not looking, it is stronger than the S&P 500 because the chips rallied on Friday, and that might be in preparation for Micron's release of earnings this week. So we'll see what happens. This level is utilize it with caution. Micron can push the NASDAQ through this level. Also remember that there's still a lot of people deploying capital into SpaceX, which is supposed to enter the NASDAQ as well. So just utilize this level with caution. 34.50 to 37.91.84 is still our supply zone that is intact. Just be mindful this has already worked. And our demand zone waiting all the way for 27.835. Given what happened with the 27,835.79 to 27,485.99. However, given where the S&P bounced from, I'm going to make this level a little bit larger and actually coincide with the gap. 28 18.34 to 27.485. As a matter of fact, let's do this and say, hey, even 2,800 if you want an early entry. If not, wait for it to get to 27,820 to start considering getting into the Qs or the Nasdaq for a little longer swing trade. Moving on to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones stronger than both the stronger than both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. Holding here, no supply like there was in the S&P 500 and Nasdaq. Demand sitting here all the way at 497.16 to 492.30. No supply in the Dow. Moving on to the rut. The rut being the strongest out of all of them. You can see they had a positive candle on Friday. No demand, no supply, and demand, I have it all the way down at 2721.44 to 2690.31. Now, moving into earnings for the week. First company I have for you is going to be Carnival. Ticker symbol CCL. On the demand side, 24.04 to 2158. Just be mindful that this level has worked on numerous occasions. So your next level is going to be at 2036 to 1899. This is not a fast moving stock, so you can play either or. However, just understand that the 2036 to 1899 is the more conservative level. And then you got supply all the way at 4157 to 4518. Next company I have for you is going to be FedEx. So FedEx is pretty much sitting here at all-time highs. If I'm not mistaken, they got a plus or minus of 26. No supply in FedEx. First demand level I have for you is going to be at 255.96 to 240.54. Next company I have for you is going to be KBH Homes, ticker symbol KBH. On the demand side, 40.48 to 38.14. On the supply side, 66.38 to 70.51. Then what everybody will probably be waiting for is Micron. As you can see, there is no supply in Micron. First demand level I have for you is all the way down here at 765.47 to 729.83. Not saying that that is going to occur, but if that does occur, it's going to take the Nasdaq with it this week. So be mindful to see what happens on Wednesday. Next company I have for you is going to be ticker symbol TCOM. On the demand side, 37.42 to 35.48 with a subsequent level at 32.05 to 30.69. On the supply side, 60.41 to 64.83. Next company I have for you is HB Fuller, ticker symbol FUL. On the demand side, 48.15 to 43.79. On the supply side, 73.43 to 81.81. Next company I have for you is ticker symbol WS. On the demand side, 31.04 to 29.09, with a subsequent level at 26.34 to 24.23. Next company I have for you is McCormick, ticker symbol MKC. On the demand side, 37.71 to 31.18. On the supply side, 67.71 to 72.44. Last company I have for you is going to be Winnebago. Sitting in this demand zone, utilize it with caution. Again, this level has worked, so you can probably wait for earnings to play out. For my aggressive traders, you can take this 30.51 to 25.41, but you may want to wait for this, either wait for earnings to play out, and then see if this 22.83 to 1696 demand zone holds for you, and supply is pretty far away, all the way up at 73.32 to 76.30. It's going to do it for me in the charts this week. I want to go ahead and wish everybody a happy Father's Day. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me, DM me, check out the website if you want to join our Mag 7 group. And as always, till next time, happy trading.